I saw some content the other day that was comparison is bad. Never compare yourself. Your
heart is broken, baby. What did you expect? I thought I told you keep it honest when we met.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Earley Show. It is 8:42 here in Eugene, Oregon. And we're just getting going. I got dinner. I got some rice. I got some brown rice, some ground turkey, some broccoli, keeping it simple. And I got my Ducks cup, Scout Ducks. So, something that is very prevalent in my life is comparison. Mainly, and I want to talk mainly about, let me just shift my computer so I can look at you and still look at my notes. Mainly, I want to talk about gym comparison. In this age of social media, like content in pictures of every bodybuilder ever, every power lifter, every influencer is constantly being pushed down our, not pushed down our throat, but you get the idea. Very accessible, and subconsciously, consciously, we compare ourselves. Well, I mean, let me speak for myself. I compare myself. I compare myself subconsciously and consciously. So, a lot of people take very stances on both sides of the spectrum. I saw some content the other day that was comparison is bad. Never compare yourself. Bullshit. And then you have the kind of hardcore motivational, you ain't shit, get up, get going, compare, like, look what these motherfuckers are doing, compare. And I want to say I don't want to say right in the middle, but I sit in the middle. I think comparison is good and is bad. And maybe that's a very approach. Whatever. But that's my stance. So my first point is, I think that if you don't compare yourself, then you don't think you need to improve. When you compare, you see there is someone better and someone worse than you. So essentially, if you don't compare yourself, you think you're the only entity. That you think that there's nothing better, there's nothing worse, there's just this state that you're in. And in this state that you're in, I'm talking about, let's just say, how your body looks, the way weight is moving, what weight you're moving. But in reality, when you compare, you see, oh shit, he's pulling 700 pounds. Look how his delts are shaped. He's got some massive traps. Then you look at the other end. Oh, he's pulling 200 pounds. He's pulling. He doesn't have meat on his chest. He doesn't have broad shoulders. You can see. You can. So I think that's the benefit of comparing. You see where you're at in the aspect of the world. So, second point to that, I think it's important who you compare yourself to. I've been watching a little more plates, more dates content to kind of see what he talks about. And I've seen a bunch of these steroid breakdowns and him analyzing people, whether they're natty or not. And I think that's when it becomes dangerous, when I start comparing myself to C-Bum. I'm not going to look like that dude. Or this other dude I've seen, Alex Suek, S-U-E-K, sucks, whatever his name is. Bro is jacked. He literally has I saw his last spread. That was crazy. So it may not be beneficial for me to compare myself to him, but I have seen a lot of natural lifters bigger than, like, Eric Buhagen. Of what I know, he's natural, and he's 270, 260 pounds and jacked. And if you listen to some of the shit he says, you're like, I get why you're jacked. Like if you really are natural, I understand why you're jacked. He says some crazy shit. If you hear some of the shit he eats, you'll be like, okay, like, I don't want it as bad as you. So that's where I think a part where comparison is good. If you compare other people that share similar, like he's been lifting for, okay, so I'm gonna use my boy Ernie for example. Or even my other gym bro, Nolan. The weight that he's moving, even though sometimes I'm like, damn, like he's moving 315 like nothing. He's pulling 500 pounds like nothing. I ain't shit. But when I tell myself I ain't shit, that motivates me, man. Like it's not humiliating. It's motivating me. Especially because after the lift, he's like, Cole, let's get it. Like, let's go hit your weight for 5 reps. But it's motivating. But then, yeah. So, but like, if I compare myself to C-Bum, I'm setting myself up to failure. But if I compare myself to Ernie and Nolan, who are obtainable, who aren't anything where it's possible, I think comparison is really good because it can be used as a motivator. Yeah, I don't know if I repeated myself or not in that, but that's my rant for tonight on comparison. Let me see if I have anything else in my notes. Yeah. Okay, so I do want to touch on this. Find somebody with the same goals as you to compare yourself to. Because sometimes I'll be comparing myself to powerlifters who what they do, whose goal when they walk in the gym is to pull more weight, is to get stronger at their squat, bench, and deadlift. I'm not a power lifter. I lift weights. If anything, I'm more on the bodybuilding route. Like sometimes I'll go into phases where I really want to improve my core lifts, but like right now I'm not. So I can't compare myself. If I compare myself to somebody whose goal is to pull 700 pounds and my goal is to get bigger fucking pecs, why the fuck am I comparing myself? So I think, but then if I compare, let's hypothetically, I am a power lifter and I'm comparing myself to a fellow power lifter, then there has some reason to compare. But if my goal when I walk in the gym is completely different from the power lifter X, what the fuck am I doing? Comparing myself to lifter X? Yeah. Well, that's my rant, and that's the Earley Show tonight. Thanks for tuning in. And this is what I really leave you with. It can't be bad forever. If whatever time you're going through is shitty right now, it will get better. If you're in a really good spot in life right now, it will get worse. Stay neutral. There is no good without bad, and there is no bad without good. Thanks for tuning in, folks.